Hey, good afternoon. It's Friday here after the close, about 3 o'clock, and just tried to digest a lot of the information that came out today with the USDA's acreage report and the grain stock reports. Obviously, it was a huge surprise on the acreage numbers from the USDA that nobody saw coming. We had basically, I just want to run through this real quick. We'll digest more of this, and we'll probably get more deeper into the WASD type deal next week. But I just want to show what kind of happened. As of June, we were kind of looking at a 92 million acre corn planted acreage and 84.1 of harvested acres for 2023. What came out today is that they moved it to 94.1 almost planted acres and moving up the harvested acres up to 86.32. So if we just go off last, June's numbers, I did change the beginning stocks a little bit. From what we can tell, they'll probably have to lower that maybe by 150 million. We kind of went ahead and did that. So that creates this carry out of 2.5, and that's why you see the large reaction in the December corn contract trading down over 30 cents today. So and breaking $5, which sucks. It just blew right through the cloud, and you couldn't really catch it today. So we'll get more into that here in a bit. But what we think, most analysts think is the 181 trendline yield is probably gone. Not going to hit because of the early droughts in the ice states and part of eastern Nebraska, and so there's some big corn acres that went through some early drought. Now they did get some rain, and they got a pretty good rain, but it came with some almost derecho type damage. If you remember from 2020, what that kind of did, I kind of did a little research, and that one was in Iowa, and it took out basically 250 million bushels out of Iowa. I think is what I read, about 370 total out of the U.S. crop. So, that hasn't been priced in. We won't know that number for a while till they can get a good handle on how many acres got damaged, how many acres the rain's going to help. You've got a whole set of issues there that's going to take a long time to really figure out. But most analysts are thinking 170 to 175 is kind of what we're probably looking at. And so it looks like, from what we can tell, maybe we're trading. The reason I got this use total up here is just in the broad spectrum of things. I'll go through that in a little bit when we talk about soybeans. That corn demand might start coming back here. It's been pretty dismal for a little bit, so maybe corn demand's coming up, or that's what this price was. This one did back when they went from April to May, when they increased their use total back then. They increased it to 600 million bushels. So if we do, if we get lower corn prices, it tends to increase demand. If you didn't see what happened to cattle prices after this, corn started dropping, cattle prices started soaring. So that's going to make them guys want to buy cattle and feed them. If corn price is lower, it's going to just help their feed costs. So I think what we're doing, what it looks like, maybe we're going to start trading in between a 1.2 and a 2 billion bushel corn crop, and so we don't know if volatility is going to get worse or better or what. It's probably not going to get better for a little bit until we get more idea of yield aspects. Beans, the big surprise was that they lowered acreage on the beans. We went from 87.5 in June, what was the expected planted acres, down to 83.51. That lowered the harvested acreage from 86.7 to 82.7, so that's 4 million acres decrease there. That's a big number because we were fairly tight on beans anyway, and with any type of yield loss, we're in deep trouble. Now, I do have what we call the bearish case, because these stock reports were as of June 1. There could have been beans planted in June that weren't counted. We got double crop coming on. So, I just threw a number. This is purely made up number here, but if we throw another million and a half acres of beans in there, we could still, put some numbers to help this crop out, but we're still really, really tight. I mean, from these numbers, if we do a 50 yield and keep total use the same, I mean, we're negative. We can't be that way. So we're going to have to ration that if that's at all a possibility. And we're probably more in this range, would be my guess. We'll probably have to start killing some demand. And so what does that mean? How do we kill demand? Well, if you notice, soybean oil and soybean meal just took off. Soybean oil went up limit pretty quickly and locked limit up. So if that happens, keeps happening Monday and Wednesday and all next week, we're going to start killing some of that demand. So how would that relate to corn? Well, if we start killing soybean demand, you got to feed the hogs something, right? So maybe that's when we start picking up some corn demand for feed use and ration use. That's just kind of our thought process as of right now. Of course, we're going to do more digging through it over the weekend and first part of next week to really see if we can get a good handle on this. Jumping to the charts, let me pull a December corn chart, widen this back out. As you can see, it was trading right in here before that report. We kind of stopped in the cloud like we talked about yesterday. We were hanging at the top end before that report, and obviously once those numbers hit, it would immediately trade it down. It actually traded back up positive for just a minute, and then they just absolutely crushed it. So like we said, don't like a close down here below out of the cloud, but we do have on some short-term stuff as we are getting oversold. It's probably not something we want to chase at this point. We can go lower. I'm not going to say we can't go lower here. We can, but we don't think we want to chase at this point. We're going to get a bounce, and we got to see how the market reacts to the rest of the information as it feeds it through the weekend, the long weekend. See who's actually, how much is traded on Monday, who's in the office, who isn't. And I think we'll really probably know more on Wednesday with that trading action happening. There's a lot of indications that there's some important dates on those days, so we'll see how that plays out. We don't think we want to just jump in and sell this market right at the moment. If you have to, I guess give us a call and we can discuss it. We don't think you should just jump right in here and chase this one. We think we're going to get a bounce at some point, and that's what needs to be sold. So we'll keep an eye on it, keep you informed, and we'll move from there. This sucks, but we just think maybe this is this is the rain event. Now we got more acres that we're pricing in, and at some point we got to start looking at what kind of damage there was from the crop. We tried to price it in here in little weather, rain coming in, and now we got the acreage. So we'll see how that all plays out and go from there. We're going to jump to the wheat market, September wheat market, Kansas City wheat. Pretty much all over the board. It just kind of got pressure put on it from the corn market. There wasn't really much in the report for wheat. I think they increased acres 1 million, but we just doesn't move the needle when you have not very good average on them. So it's kind of playing a little bit with the corn market. It's kind of caught in the middle, I think, a little bit. We just got to watch what happens in the world. I think we're still in this consolidation zone between these lines. We touched it, and then we bounced right off of it, right at the end of the day today. So I would expect that to continue to stay in this mode. If it breaks through it or breaks one of these lows, then we're probably going to have to, start thinking about other things, and if we need to start selling this year or maybe next year. So keep you informed there as well. Now, to the good market for the day is the bean market. We talked about the acreage lowering, which on already a tight supply, we've got good crush numbers coming out. So we've got demand. We got actually demand in soybeans, and now we have lower acreage than we thought we did. So beans were up 77, immediately took off after that report. I mean, it just didn't stop. We thought it was going to go lemon at one point. It just didn't quite get there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this keep going unless something changes weather-wise or demand-wise coming up shortly. So I wouldn't suggest that you turn around and sell this at this point. I think you gotta give it some room, let it trade, see what's happening, because for us it was really pretty nice right in here. And any normal day we would probably be specking that long pretty hard because we went in the cloud and we were bouncing out of it, but we just couldn't take the risk right before that report. So at this point, everything's a go. We're above our line, which is right here at this bottom of this 2. We're breaking back above the cloud, and where we go from here, it's hard telling. It's just going to depend on demand and weather at this point. We're going to trade these acreage numbers for a while. They probably aren't getting changed for a while unless some new information comes out where the USDA has to make a correction. Have they done it in the past? Yeah, but it's been pretty rare. So let's just keep watch on that and hold off on selling any more new beans for a little bit until the market digests what's going on and see where this rally takes us to. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. There's always risk in trading futures and options, and if trade in light of your financial conditions. And if you need help, please seek a professional. And if you need anything else, give us a call. Have a great weekend.